Now, there's a whole host of issues concerning the EU, a tectonic shift from Syria to Georgia, and what to do with Russia. Now, the woman tasked with leading the initiative of what to do next for the European Union is Kaja Kallas, the new High Rep and Executive Vice President and former Prime Minister of Estonia. She joins us now. Thank you, Prime Minister, and now High Rep Commissioner, for joining us. So let's start with, first of all, Georgia. I mean, we've seen now weeks of protests. We've seen now a resolution passed in this parliament criticizing the government there. Sanctions seem to be blocked by Hungary and Slovakia. What kind of signal can the EU send to the people of Georgia? Are we entangled? Can there still be movement for that country to join the EU?
Well, first of all, we redirected the funds that were meant to the government, to the civil society, to actually be with the Georgian people, to help the Georgian people and the civil society in this regard. So that is what we have done. We have also decided yesterday to do the visa-free regime ban for the diplomatic and service passports. And of course, we are talking and discussing the sanctions also to those who are really using violence against protesters.
But at the same time, it does seem to be like Georgia needs a signal. It seems there's a bit of disunity on our end. They were so close moving ever forward. But how do we overcome countries potentially like Hungary and Slovakia in blocking that? Because we need their approval to do anything meaningful.
Well, we have tools that we explored yesterday also at the Foreign Affairs Council to overcome. I mean, there is a possibility of abstention rather than veto. There's a difference. Okay, you don't want to be part of it, but don't be against this is also, a signal. But we are not there yet, so we need to work. We have 27 countries, 27 different democracies.
Mm-hmm. And also briefly on Syria, that's another major tectonic shift there in the region. You've called on diplomats to open up negotiations or those leads of communication with HTS. But how do we balance that? What's next for the European Union? That's still a terrorist list. How do we move forward with this major issue?
Well, Syria faces optimistic but uncertain future, and that's why on Saturday I was in Jordan together with the Arab leaders, US and also United Nations, Turkey, to talk about these principles that the engagement really needs. And I'm glad to see that we all agreed on the same principles: inclusivity of the government, how we can also support the Syrian people in this regard, and no radicalization, no terrorism, no weaponization of religion as well, because there are so many different groups, inclusivity of all the minorities in the government. It's going to be hard, but it has to be Syrian-led and Syrian-owned process. What we can do on our side is to engage with them, in a very careful manner in the beginning. And I've just said that we are reopening our embassy in Syria so that we have the first contacts and information from the ground.
Now, while you were Prime Minister, you had very strong hawkish ideas in terms of Russia. That is still something that I think you said recently, if you solve the problem with Russia, you fix a lot of other things. Looking now at the incoming administration with Donald Trump, I mean, some of the things he said recently, vehemently against long-range missile strikes into Russia, further comments. How do you go about reconciling that policy with the Trump administration, which is very different, quite frankly, from your policy and what Europe has been trying to pursue these last years?
Well, we are in this together. If United States is worried about China, then they should first be worried about Russia. These all different tensions are very much interlinked, and we have to work together in this. So, of course, we have to explain what is at stake. I mean, the US and Europe are very much interlinked also when it comes to economy. Whatever happens in Europe also has an effect on United States, and the isolationism has not really paid off. It's investment to also United States security, the Ukrainian aid. It's not charity, it's investment to our security.
And what if the administration in America decides that they're going to go a different course? What's your backup plan for Europe in that sense?
Well, Europe needs to do more, and we have done more. I mean, the difference between Trump's first administration and now is that Europe has done what Trump said that time. We have boosted our own investments to defense, and of course, we have also gotten rid of Russian oil and gas, so the dependency on Russian fossil fuels. Of course, it's not enough. We need to do more, and we need to discuss how we do things together, but also what we can do separately. Europe has been the biggest supporter of Ukraine and will continue to be so.
Mm-hmm. And also, if we're looking a bit further, looking at what might be ahead, looking at a very different council presidency. Hungary is about to finish. Poland will start soon. What are kind of expectations of the Polish presidency taking the helm in January?
We have high expectations for Polish presidency. I've already talked with the foreign minister Sikorski as well what we can do together in terms of developing Europe further and also to doing things for our own defense. So I'm looking forward to the cooperation.
Okay. Great, thank you very much. And thank you for watching. Sascha Fahrbach for TVP World, talking with the High Rep, Europe's chief diplomat here in Strasbourg.